Maryland asked me to give a small presentation today, and I thought maybe I would just kind of go over some of the most common questions that we get in the shop when people come in because their computer has decided to, die on them or just runs horribly slow, and that's really the big one. We hear a lot of people come in and say, why does my computer run so slow? And it was great and doesn't. And computers don't really mold. They don't go bad over time. They are something that should run as well, essentially, if everything's doing what it's supposed to. From the day you bought it, it should be running just equally as well. What happens is you collect software or malware problems, virus problems, spyware problems, and a lot of those things run in the background of your computer, and you may not even be aware. And that's ultimately what slows them down more than anything. So I printed a list of signs that you're infected from Kaspersky Labs, and thought I would kind of go over them a little bit. Symptoms that your computer's infected. Behaving strangely is in a way you haven't seen before. If something opens, a program runs, or something happens and you didn't ask it to, it's a pretty good sign that it's not supposed to be there. A lot of times we see people come infected. The latest, one of the latest viruses that we see a lot of locks your computer up and says the FBI has taken control of your computer. And if you have a webcam, then it'll even display your picture on the monitor and say, go buy a card from your local retailer to pay us a fine, and then we'll unlock your computer. And you'd actually be surprised how many people look at that and go, oh my gosh, what happened? My kids must have gotten into something or what have you. I even had a customer come in once who had gone to the federal offices in Salem to find out why they had locked his computer down. And after going there and then here to City Hall, he finally came to see me, and before he finished his sentence, I said, you've got a virus, So that's a really common thing. If something happens that you didn't tell to go, it's a good sign something's happening that you don't want to be happening. You hear unexpected sounds or things played at random. Some things will play ads in the background, even a radio broadcast in the background of your computer that you can't get rid of. Most of the malicious things that are out there these days are really forms of advertising or trying to monitor what you're doing or get you to buy something. And so that's another common one. Again, programs start unexpectedly. That's like I was saying, if you see something pops up and says, oh, Security 2012 has found 18,000 things wrong with your computer. If you didn't install Security 2012 on there, probably a pretty good sign that you've got something going on that shouldn't be. If you ever receive an email message or if you hear from your friends that you have sent them an email message that says that you're lost in Nova Scotia and need $2,000 to get home, that's a good sign that either your email server or your computer is infected. That's a very common thing. You'll get lots of viruses propagate by emailing everyone you know. It doesn't necessarily, receiving that email doesn't necessarily mean you're infected, but it's always worth double checking. Operating system won't load. There's a million reasons why you can get what's affectionately known as a blue screen of death or Windows stop error. Your computer starts, it goes so far and then restarts. And actually what you're getting is a little error message that pops up and says, for some reason, it can't load Windows and can't continue. And that again can be a sign of a virus or a Windows update that's gone bad or any number of things. You notice that your files or folders have been deleted or changed. There's also the whole strains of viruses that simply hide every file on your computer. So when you boot it up, it's just empty. And you look, you're like, oh, my pictures are all gone forever. Again, something we can fix, but is a sure sign that you've got a bigger problem. And a lot of these things, as I imagine, are things that you would come see me if you had happened. If your computer starts telling you that the FBI wants you or doesn't start, then come see me and we'll take a look and diagnose it. We do a lot of, we always do free diagnostics. You bring it to me, I'm going to look at them and tell you what's going on with it and help you to know what you're up against. But we also always have a flat rate of $89, and that doesn't ever change. So, unless if it takes us less than an hour, we only charge $35. But other than that, you check your machine in for me, you're not going to come back and have a bill for $300 or $400. So anytime you want, you come in and I'm happy to take a look at what's going on your machine and help you to figure out what's happening. We can read error reports for those blue screens, things like that. So then it begs the question, how do you prevent getting viruses? Is your virus protection program enough? things like that. And the answer is, there's not a 100% solid answer that's going to keep you from getting infected for all time. There's just not a virus protection suite on the market that can stop anything malicious from running, and most commonly people get problems when they install and run something themselves. And a virus can come from any form of program. That can be pictures or music or video that you click on and run on your machine. The most common place people get viruses is from file attachments in email, from friends that they know but didn't know that they were, didn't know that that got sent. Even just visiting some websites that have scripts that run automatically can infect your machine. Websites can become infected. So what do? Well, you keep your Windows updates up to date. And try to make sure that that Microsoft's updates, that the Adobe updates, things like that are happening. Because those are typically security loopholes that have been identified, and they're rectifying that problem. And beyond that, maintain a good virus protection program. We recommend Avast, primarily because it's the #1 recommended by PC Magazine and independent resources right now. It's free. You can download it. The free version does just about everything that the paid version does. But even with virus protection running on your machine, doesn't necessarily mean that you're free to, roam at will. So the #1 thing that you can do to protect yourself is be careful where you go and what you do. So, a lot of things get sold in the industry because of fear, and that's not what I'm here to say today. Anybody who's got their machine and maintains it should be fairly confident that they can go without having big issues. But when you do have a problem, by all means, come find me, and I'll be happy to help you figure it out. Again, Karmic Computers, we're right downtown in Independence, right on Main Street. We're there 10 to 5 Monday through Friday and 10 to 2 on Saturdays. And we're really very friendly group. We operate very laid back in our office. You're welcome to just come visit anytime you like.